Hello, hello, Tyler James from Comics Tribe here, and I am jumping on to announce the winner of a contest that we ran for our backers for the DIG #1 Kickstarter campaign. If you go right now to dig.comicstribe.com, you can check out the brand new launch, which went live last week, got off to our best start ever of any of our comics Kickstarter projects, and is still picking up steam. And I think we're closing in on 450 backers. And one of the things that, if you've ever backed a Comics Tribe project before, you know we like to have fun with the backers who support us. And so one of the things that we did during this recent launch is we did a little backer bonus game. And I'll tell you briefly what how this game worked, and we'll in this broadcast not only share the correct answer for this game, but we'll also pick a winner live in real time, so you can see who's going to get a little bonus here. And so here's the game that we chose to do. If you've been reading Sync or anything from writer John Lees, you know that he has a real talent for creating memorable characters. And in the Sync book particularly, he has a real talent for naming characters. So and because Sync takes place in Glasgow and often has some weaves in some Glaswegian lore and some Scottish lore and other things like that, the names really have a colorful character to them. And so the challenge to our backers was, could they, from a lineup of 4 names, pick out the name that would actually be a character that's going to be appearing in a future issue of Sync. And so we gave our backers 4 choices. A was Marla Mudflaps, B was Iron Tooth Jack, C was Gregory Fudd, and D was Drips McGill. Okay, these are the 4 choices. And just to be honest, the Comics Tribe, we have a Twitter back channel, and we just spent probably way too long coming up with fake Sync names and so that we could do this particular contest. And so the deal is, one of these names is real. The other 3 are distractors, are made up, were generated from the Comics Tribe brain trust, if you will. And so what we did was we asked our backers to vote in the comments on which one of these names they thought was actually a real Sync character. And the deal is, from the backers that get this correct, we are then going to pull one of those names out of the hat, and we're going to hook that backer up with a $25 credit, $25 in Comics Tribe credit, that will show up in their pledge manager after the Kickstarter campaign is over, and they can use that to pitch in and get themselves some cool Comics Tribe add-ons, or potentially upgrade their pledge to a higher level. Or if they're international backers, they can apply that to take care of some of the shipping cost. Okay, so it'll be $25 in credit. But go ahead, if you're watching this live, it won't count as far as our backer contest goes, but you can share in the chat, in the comments, what you think the correct answer is. But here's how it played out. Again, we asked our backers to go and comment in the comments of the post on Kickstarter, and as you can see, there were actually over 40 comments that were on Kickstarter, and they were across the board. This was actually a pretty close vote. So Marla Mudflaps got 9 votes, Iron Tooth Jack 11, Gregory Fudd got 8, and Drips McGill got 14 total votes. So if you polled our audience, Drips is where the audience thinks it's going to come down, but it was pretty close. All right, and so what's the answer to this one? Well, unfortunately, and we had a lot of requests of, even if it's not, we want you to do a Marla Mudflaps, but it's not Marla Mudflaps. That was a made-up one. It's also not Gregory Fudd. And so the actual answer is between Iron Tooth Jack and Drips McGill, and Drips McGill is not it. It is actually Iron Tooth Jack. So looks like Grant, who's tuning in. What's up, Grant? Great to have you here. Looks like Grant actually got that one correct. And so just for a little context, you will actually be meeting Iron Tooth Jack in the pages of Sync number 11, which will be the very next issue that we release following the DIG #1 Kickstarter that's on Kickstarter right now. So just for context, we've done 2 volumes of Sync, 10 issues total. DIG #1, it takes place in between the last issue of Sync, which was Sync #10, and this next issue of Sync, which is Sync #11. And so this sort of bridges the gaps between Volume 2 and the upcoming Volume 3. And just to share a little teaser, the line from from John's script is this. He says, "In the darkest corner of the room, mostly in shadow, stands Iron Tooth Jack, a 7-foot-tall vampire with a mouthful of jagged iron razor teeth like a shark's mouth. He's standing rigidly upright, grinning at her." All right, that's the only tease you're going to get from Sync 11, but you will be meeting Iron Tooth Jack in Sync 11, and we think he's going to go down as another one of those iconic Sync characters that you can't get out of your heads for good or ill. You're going to love that. All right, so we actually had, in terms of those that commented on the Kickstarter by 8 a.m. this morning, we actually had 11 backers that were able to comment on that post by 11 this morning. And so I've uploaded all of those backers to the big wheel, the wheel of names here. I'm going to shuffle this 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then we are going to spin. And this backer who got this correct and was a part of this is going to get $25 in Comics Tribe credit. All right, so there we have it. Tara Woolfolk is our grand champion for this backer bonus game. Thanks to Iron Tooth Jack, she will be getting 25 extra bucks to apply to a Comics Tribe trade or a pledge upgrade or whatever she likes after the Kickstarter is over. It'll show up in her pledge manager. So she won't see that on Kickstarter, but it will show up in her pledge manager when we send her our shipping survey. Okay, so congrats, Tara. Congrats to everyone who played. Hope you're excited about Iron Tooth Jack. And I hope you liked this backer bonus game. We will be doing another one like this. So I want to encourage anyone that is watching this, that is a fan of Sync, or hasn't checked it out yet. This is actually a great jumping on point. That's right, Shaheem, dropping the tooth emoji in there. And Shaheem was another one who got this one right. But yeah, we really want to encourage you to jump into this Kickstarter campaign. Bet our fastest launch ever in terms of how it's doing funding wise, and we're just a week in, and we've got 21 days to go. A lot of stretch goals. New stretch goals are going to be announced because we've already blew through the first 3 stretch goals that we announced, and we're coming up on some cool milestones like 450 backers and other things. You can fully customize your pledge level, and all the details are on the campaign. So if you haven't yet, go over to dig.comicstribe.com, back the campaign, hit these share buttons, let your friends know about it. This is a special book, and we are so excited. John has been busy during the lockdown and during the pandemic. He has actually written 10 issues ahead on Sync. I've had the chance. I'm one of the few people on the planet that has read ahead to the next 2 volumes of Sync, the complete, and oh my goodness, payoff for those of you that have stuck with it. The way that things are starting to come together and unfolding. And I just finished the last issue of Sync Volume 4. And it was like I told John that this was like the hard home episode of Game of Thrones, where the stakes just get risen to such a high level that it's like, oh my goodness, like peak Thrones is where Sync is going to be a couple volumes from now. So Alex is working hard on art. John has been killing it with scripts. The next step in this saga is Dig #1. I can't wait for you to get your hands on it. All right. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you over on the Kickstarter.